much. Thank you, Maria. Well, I'd like to thank the organizers first for inviting me to this very interesting conference. I think we needed to discuss about library and information science education, so now we have the opportunity. I am from Hacettepe University, from Ankara, Turkey, but I represent EUCLID here. Well, I will talk about the findings of a research, a survey we conducted in 18 different countries on LIS students. Instead of questioning about what new topics we can include in LIS education, of course that is very important, I think we also should question about whether our present education is good enough to equip our students with the core skills they need to perform their profession. As we all know, I think you will all agree with me that lifelong learning is inevitable because of the continuous change, which is the most salient characteristic of today's societies. And information literacy skills are the core skills for lifelong learning. And these skills are very important for everyone and every student from every discipline. However, it is really very, very important and crucial for LIS students. There is a large body of literature on information literacy skills of different groups, students from different disciplines and people from different professions and so on. However, there is very little research on information literacy competencies of LIS students. I think it is because we just take it for granted. We just assume that our students should have and they have these core skills. There is one of the most known and well-known research or studies in this area is project information literacy. Probably you are familiar with that, which was carried out in United States on undergraduate students, and it was composed by Alison Head and Michael Eisenberg. I especially like to address this research because we actually used and adapted their survey. LIS, information literacy skills are very crucial and important for LIS students, not only to succeed in their educational and personal life and also in their professional life, because they will need the skills to perform their profession effectively and efficiently. And actually, they are expected to assist their users, their patrons, to teach these skills and to help with the searching for information and use of information. As I mentioned earlier, we conducted a multinational study to find out about the information literacy competencies of LIS students. We wanted to explore whether there is any gap in these competencies or not. And we also wanted to explore whether there are some differences among different countries, because we all have somehow different programs. So if there is any significantly, statistically significant differences among countries. If we can highlight the gaps in this, what we thought, if we can highlight the gaps in LIS students' information literacy competencies, so we can address these gaps from a curricular perspective, and we can think about our programs and maybe make some changes and developments. So I think I already mentioned this. Well, as I mentioned, 18 countries were involved. 21 researchers from 18 countries actually were involved in this research, and data collected through a web-based surveys on the Lime survey platform. And we collected the data during 2012 and 2013 academic year. And as I mentioned, PIL survey instrument was adapted to the LIS field with the permission of the creators. These are the fellow researchers, 21 researchers. Maybe it is hard to read the names one by one, but I have two researchers here in this room today. We have Milena Dobreva from Malta and Tanya Todorova from Sofia, Bulgaria. And another Chaudhary, another colleague from Chaudhary family. We distributed the survey via email or some internal communication channels in all the countries, and researchers generally conduct the survey in their own organization, in their own university. 1,200 participants took place, and some of them are from bachelor and some of them are from master's level. As my colleague mentioned, there are some differences between countries. In some countries, LIS education is offered on master's degrees, so there was a difference. And response rate actually changed from, varies from 10% to 92%. A majority of the participants were between the ages 18 and 23. There are majority is undergraduates, and 80% were female, but I think it is mainly there is a domination of female students in many of the universities. I don't know whether it's the case in your university or not. I'd like to very shortly give you some information about the findings. Participants were asked to rate their perceived difficulty for certain tasks related to their research assignments. There are some tasks here in this graphic. These are about starting the assignment and searching for resources. And the findings indicate that students have less confidence and, let's say, or in other words, more difficulties with the pre-research tasks, like defining the, maybe, yeah, next graphic will help more, because here I combine the strongly agree and agree this task is difficult. Getting started is the most difficult thing for the students. More than 50% of the students think that it is difficult. And narrowing down a topic or defining a topic are the most difficult things for the students, or most of the students, I should say, more than 40% for both cases. Finding information seems like to be less difficult, and this is actually expected. We also wanted to see whether there were some differences among countries, and we ran some cross-country analysis, but for the cross-country analysis we had to exclude some of the countries because of the small representation rate and very limited number of participants. Here each color actually represents one country, but I wouldn't be able to put all the country names there. These actually findings will be published soon in JELIS, so if you are interested in detailed findings, you can have a look at that article. But these findings indicate that there are some statistically significant differences among the students from different countries. These are the tasks they actually carry out during preparing their assignments, which is related to evaluating sources, writing down, rephrasing, and citing plagiarism, and so on. So maybe the radar graphic actually gives us a better idea. Again, I combine strongly agree and agree on the difficulty together, so they have more difficulties or less confidence in deciding whether the work is done, whether they finished and their paper or assignment is good enough. And rephrasing is another problem with the students. Again, there are some differences among the countries. In certain countries, students have more problems with citation and how to decide plagiarism, or whether what they are doing it constitutes with plagiarism or not. These are the resources they consult. Course readings are the most frequently resources they consult, and search engines also. When we go back to the research skills, they actually they are generally very confident with their search skills. But when we look at the most frequently used resources, we realize that some of them even don't require search skills. If they are using course readings, then they don't have to search for anything. So what we believe is further research is necessary here to find out about the actual skills. Because this is the limitation of this survey, it is based on self-perception. So we don't know about the actual skills. They believe that they have well-developed search skills, but maybe it is worth to investigate further. These are the people they consult more. Classmates and instructors are the people they most frequently consult when they need help for these course-related assignments. And librarians are on the last, actually, row. There could be, of course, different reasons for that, because sometimes it could be the case in your university, in your department. We faculty, we don't want our students to consult with the librarians, we want them to find their own way, so maybe further investigation is needed here to actually make more interpretations. As I said, this study relied on students' perceptions and self-reporting, so this is the limitation. And there are some patterns of information literacy level and behavior common to LIS students in general, and there are also some significant differences among countries. These findings might actually help LIS faculty to think about the programs and curricula to address the gaps if there are any. As I said, they are comfortable with certain skills, like developing search strategies and so on, and they are not that comfortable with the other skills. Nearly 1/3 of the students in some countries, like I think France, Turkey, Lithuania, and Bulgaria, these are the ones I remember, on deciding which databases to use and finding articles in a database, and these are the core skills for future librarians or LIS professionals. Some students have difficulties with evaluating web sources, and again, more than 1/3 of students in some countries have some difficulties. I think Lithuania was an example for that. So these are the areas our graduates should really master, so we have to think about this. And plagiarism is also is another area of concern, and plagiarism and citing sources is an important area where future LIS professionals, students today, will assist the others. So it is really important that we address this in the programs. Sometimes we actually assume that our students know about this or they should learn by themselves. We don't teach directly. So maybe it's something to think about. Well, I think I have to wrap up now. So the results prove that it is important to question whether our students have the core skills to perform their professions. And it is also important to maybe conduct some multinational comparative studies, because now LIS education is getting more international. And as we heard from the previous presenters, there are some programs already, international programs, and there are some intentions to create more international programs or collaborative programs. So it is also a good information for us to remember that students from different countries might have different level of expertise on certain core subjects. So if we have international audience, international students, maybe this information also helps, and it would really help to pre-test and find out about their actual levels on certain core subjects and issues. International bodies such as EUCLID and LIS, iSchool, and all these associations can help to conduct this kind of surveys, or maybe we can collaborate to do further research together. And I think the collaboration is necessary. I hope I didn't exceed the time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Serap. Next speaker is Virginia Ortiz Repiso.